74 seconds. That's how long it took for newly released Epstein files to vanish from federal custody. The documents had been published on December 19, 2025. By evening, they were gone. Some of the missing materials included images connected to Donald Trump. And on December 20, 2025, when Senator Cory Booker walked into the Senate Judiciary Committee hearing room with a single manila folder, Attorney General Pam Bondi had no idea she was about to become the face of one of the most brazen cover-ups in modern federal history.
The hearing room was full, cameras trained on every face. Bondi sat across from Booker, confident, prepared, her hands resting flat on the table. She'd been appointed Attorney General just 6 weeks earlier. This was supposed to be routine oversight, budget questions, personnel reviews, standard procedure. But Booker didn't open with budget. He opened with a question so simple it sounded innocent.
Thank you for being here, General Bondi. I want to start with something straightforward. On December 19th, your department released a set of Epstein-related files, correct? Bondi nodded. That's correct, Senator. And those files included documentary evidence and visual materials. Yes, images among other materials. Her tone was steady, professional. She believed she was in control. She wasn't.
What Bondi didn't know was that Booker had spent 3 weeks working with digital forensics experts, Justice Department whistleblowers, and data preservation specialists. They'd downloaded every file the moment it went public. They'd cataloged every image, every document, every metadata timestamp. And when those files disappeared from the DOJ website less than 12 hours later, they had the evidence to prove it wasn't a technical glitch. It was deliberate deletion.
Booker leaned forward. His voice didn't rise. It didn't need to. General Bondi, can you explain why those files were removed from public access within 74 seconds of a phone call placed from the White House Chief of Staff's office to your deputy at 6:47 p.m. on December 19th? The room went silent. Bondi's hands shifted on the table, just slightly, but the cameras caught it. Senator, I'd need to review the specific timeline. I have the timeline. Booker opened the folder. At 6:47 p.m., Chief of Staff Stephen Miller's office placed a call to Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. Call duration, 4 minutes, 12 seconds. At 6:52 p.m., a digital access request was logged into the DOJ's public records server with administrative override credentials. At 6:53 p.m., 134 files were reclassified from public domain to restricted pending review. At 6:54 p.m., those files were removed entirely. Total elapsed time from phone call to deletion, 74 seconds after the call ended. Bondi's face flushed. Her jaw tightened. Senator, materials are often reviewed for what? Protecting the president? Her voice sharpened. For ensuring that sensitive materials don't compromise ongoing investigations or violate privacy standards.
Booker didn't blink. General Bondi, were you aware that among the deleted files were 6 photographs depicting Donald Trump at Epstein's Palm Beach estate in 1997, 3 of which included minors in the background? The gallery erupted. Gasps, murmurs. A Republican senator leaned back in his chair, eyes closed. Bondi's face went from flushed to pale in seconds. Those materials were part of a broader review.
A review that took 74 seconds? Booker's voice cut through the noise like a knife. General, I'm holding a forensic analysis conducted by the Electronic Frontier Foundation. It shows that the deletion wasn't automated. It required manual input of override credentials that only 3 people in your department possess. You, Deputy AG Blanche, and FBI Director Kash Patel. Which one of you gave the order? Bondi's hands gripped the edge of the table. Her knuckles turned white. Senator, I will not sit here and be accused of... Booker leaned back. He closed the folder. His voice dropped to something colder, sharper, final. General Bondi, the investigative record was already closed. Epstein died in 2019. There is no active prosecution.
There is no ongoing investigation. What you protected wasn't the integrity of the record, it was the reputation of the president. And in doing so, you turned the Department of Justice into a political shield. Within hours, the clip went viral. Hashtag 74 seconds trended nationwide. By the next morning, 3 DOJ attorneys had submitted whistleblower complaints. The House Oversight Committee announced subpoenas for Miller, Blanche, and Patel. And legal scholars began debating whether Bondi's actions constituted obstruction of justice or something worse, corruption of the office itself.
But the real fallout wasn't political, it was institutional. Because when the public sees evidence disappear in 74 seconds after a White House phone call, they stop believing in the system. They stop trusting that justice is blind. They start believing that power protects power, and the law is just a tool for those who know how to use it. The numbers told the story. 134 files deleted, 6 photographs of Trump at Epstein's estate, 3 photographs with minors in frame, 1 phone call, 74 seconds, and 1 attorney general who chose loyalty over transparency. That's not law enforcement, that's damage control, and the American people saw exactly what it looked like.